love fish and chips.
Yeah, love fish and chips.
Huge fan.
I love anything deep fried and crunchy.
It doesn't need to be summer for fish and chips.
If I was going to have a naughty night, then definitely fish and chips.
I like having chips with Tabasco sauce. Is that weird?
In the day, it was like you could get you pay $12, feed a whole entire family and still have leftovers. Big advocate for fish and chips.
I'm a fan of sort of beer batter rather than tempura. I find tempura sometimes, I want more crunch and a bit more coloration. If you're somewhere where they're going to put it into like a cardboard box so they don't seal it, so therefore the steam doesn't make the batter and the chips go soggy, I like that as well.
There's an amazing spot called Paparoa, which is a really cute wee town, and it has literally one of the best fish and chip shops I've ever found in New Zealand. The best potato fritters in the whole country.
Papanui fish and chips, because I grew up in the back streets of Papanui in Christchurch, and then also Red Snapper, I think, in Sumner Beach in Christchurch. There's like one really good fish and chip shop there, kind of a little bit off the beach, so you kind of wander into the little Sumner town, grab some fish and chips, and then walk back and sit on Cave Rock. There's a big rock with a cave in the middle. Who would have thought?
I think the best fish and chips I've had in a long time was actually up at Matodi Bay, because what you do there is you go out fishing, you catch the fish and you bring it back to our little fish and chip shop that lives within the campsite, and they cook it for you. And I think just that whole process, that is quintessential New Zealand fish and chips.
There's a really good one, again, in Hastings where I grew up, in Mahora. They've a good fish and chip shop there. And there's another one in Waihi Beach down by the surf club. There's a place there, it's like a dairy, but it's a dairy / fish and chip shop. It's like everything all in one. And if you catch fish, you can take it there and they'll batter the fish for you. See, Westbury and Auckland, everyone talks about the Westbury butchery, which is great. But across the road, if you go to a little place called Happy Takeaways, they do really good fish and chips there. Not a lot of people know that.
Well, I used to spend a lot of time up in Ahipara and, 90 Mile Beach there in Shipwreck Bay. And the fish and chips store up there really stood out to me. We'd go and get a whole heap and we'd all just sit down with a big can of tomato sauce and we'd just enjoy watching the sun go down. And it's just really, really special.
Joe's Fish and Chip Shop in Belmont, they do the freshest fish. They'll do it any way you want, and crucially, the chips are perfect. So they're not too overdone, they're not underdone, and you get a lot in a scoop. But my all-time fave is actually in New Plymouth, and it's a fish and chip shop / a restaurant. That is Marinovich's. They do the best crispy batter, but I think the best thing about it is if you sit in, you have your fish and chips and you have a cold slaw and the dressing they put on it. I would love to know the recipe because it just blows your mind.
There's a place called Bailey's Beach on the west coast near Dargaville, and they've got these kind of clay cliffs. Over Easter, we again got fish and chips in Bailey's Beach, great fish and chips, and went and sat on the clay cliffs and you just had full view of the sunset over the ocean, and it was just spectacular.